bring up the first video. There's 3 videos. There's a couple of short videos from Case Study, and then Kyle.
So this is talking about Marianne, right?
Yes.
So I'll say this real quick before I seen this. Already seen the media reaction and the liberal blue check reaction to Marianne Williamson running, and they are cooking her, son. They are already laughing her out of the room, guys. Like they consider her a joke. So as I said before, if Marianne Williamson and her supporters thought RBN was mean to her, if she could not handle me, a college dropout, and she thought I was being too rude, and she thought I was mansplaining her, she's going to be eating alive. She might be eaten alive by these liberals. Already seen the venom. I seen them say shit. Well, I was like, damn. I was like, damn. I was usually my substantive is my criticism was substantive. Like I got criticism on strategy, policy. Nigga, they're attacking her personal life. Already seen it. Calling her.
It was a lot of stuff. Yeah, I'm starting to see a little bit of it.
They're playing way more dirty than we did because we attacked her on policy. They were going low already, and if she couldn't handle us, it's gonna go bad for her real quick. So that's my prefactory story. I pass it to you, CJ.
And I think what you are alluding to is the video of Kyle Kalinske, because his video is titled "Media Already Smearing."
Oh, I ain't seen that.
Marianne Williamson, and so we'll cover that in just a second. But let's first watch it, because I was surprised they were talking about this on Morning Joe. So this conversation is on Morning Joe, and then I'll show you another one on CNN. But let's listen.
The last time a sitting Democratic president had a challenge was 1968, Lyndon Johnson. There was a pretty significant issue that his challenges raised. It was called the war in Vietnam. What issue would they raise?
And this is the point that I was trying to remember earlier, and I didn't know if Joe Scarborough had said it or this guy, and it was this guy. And I'm glad I didn't quote Joe Scarborough earlier. But this is the point I was going to bring up earlier about Marianne Williamson. And this is the point that you and I and you brought up also. If she was coming in challenging him on Ukraine, it would be like the challenge that this guy is talking about, this historical challenge that he's talking about in the past, the last time a sitting president. He was challenging him on Vietnam, the person who was challenging the sitting president. That's not what's happening in this case. And that's why I said, just imagine a person challenging whoever the president, Richard Nixon at the time, and challenging him, but you're challenging him and you're not against the Vietnam War. Like, what is the purpose of that? It wouldn't be any purpose unless that's the main focus. So now, fast forward to today, the main thing that's happening right now that's taking all of our money and attention is Ukraine. So how are you not coming in? And that is your challenge. That's the point of RBN, of Nick, and also that I concur with. It's such a flat-footed challenge if your challenge isn't to the war machine.
Against Joe Biden.
I think they would very diplomatically talk around the age issue. I think, look, there are 2 larger thematic things here that a Democrat could conceivably run on. One is freedom, and the other is choice. I mean, Democrats deserve a choice to have the freedom to vote for a president that most of them don't want to see running again. I mean, that is essentially what we're talking about here. We're not talking about someone who is out to destroy Joe Biden. We are looking for someone. I think a lot of Democrats are looking for someone to give an alternative, to actually make an argument.
You see, I don't know if you get the same feeling, but people talk in these terms of people deserve another option. But if you drill down to what they're talking about, they're not talking about a real option. Right. They're just talking about people can visually see, oh, there's another person right there that I'm not going to be voting for. You get what I'm saying? It's not like they want you to really have a choice. They just saying people need to be able to see multiple choices that you really can't choose. But that's the feeling I get when people say, even when I was watching the panel discussion on Vanguard, it's like, yeah, people need to have a choice. But then at the end of the panel, they're like, yeah, nobody here believes that she's actually going to win. They actually acknowledge it. And it's like, well, I don't get it. But, anyway, let's get back to the video.
Completely get why a primary challenge is to be resisted at all costs. If you work for Joe Biden, if you are Joe Biden, if you work in the White House, if you work at the DNC or whatever. However, I also think that sorry, got the earpiece problem here. I also think that this is a time for kind of fresh thinking, and again, the age issue makes for kind of an extenuating circumstance that the Democrats have been ignoring, have been talking quietly about, and probably should deal with at some point before it's too late.
And Jonathan Martin, talk about those concerns about Joe Biden regarding him surviving the term intact. People saying not that maybe he doesn't pass away, but maybe he spends his last year or two like Woodrow Wilson. We hear all the concerns. We hear the concerns about Kamala Harris not being a popular vice president.
Do you think? Because to me, this is unusual that the media is talking out in the open about the president running or not running like this. But what's telling, or what's a slap in the face to Marianne Williamson, they're talking like this about Joe Biden, and they're also saying, but Marianne Williamson's not serious at all. It's almost like they want somebody else, or to try to force Joe Biden to say he's not running. What do you kind of grasp? Why would Joe Scarborough be platforming this talk about primary or a primary challenge to Joe Biden?
I think they really wanted to prop up Pete Buttigieg and Kamala Harris as the future. Now they're scrambling because Pete Buttigieg is in shambles. Kamala is historically unpopular. But I have something I'm going to interject at this story to show you guys. Like, they're going to completely erase Marianne Williamson from this conversation. And this is why we're trying to explain to these people that say, oh, it's a good idea to run within the Democratic Party as a messaging campaign. I said, no, you waste your time, because if you're going to run a campaign you don't think you're going to win, the messaging campaign should be that we should lead the Democratic Party. If that's not the messaging campaign, it's a waste of time. And now in polls, they're not even including her in the option of choices. And the number of people you see are Pete Buttigieg and Kamala Harris in these early polls. And then I saw one poll. I saw one poll that had Bernie at like 9%. Another one had AOC at 5%. So what we were telling the NATO left, the boutique left, that they hate to hear, what we were telling the Bernie industrial complex, what they hate to hear because they made their career off of this movement, is that the idea that we're going to run this super giant progressive campaign within the Democratic Party that made their careers, that's not going to happen again. 2016 and 2020, those was a Bernie Sanders iteration, and that's it. Especially after how Bernie Sanders, AOC, and the squad, they pulled the ladder up from themselves, so they made it even harder for progressives because they're not on board. Bernie not on board for Marianne yet.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a Biden bro. You had Pramila Jayapal and all the progressive caucus come out and said Biden is definitely the choice heading into the election after the State of the Union address. So I'm not quite sure why Joe Scarborough have done this. I just think this is something they always plan on doing as a way to put another candidate there, just in case Joe Biden does not want to run. Because there was a story that said that Biden has not technically decided, but I always take those with a grain of salt because those stories are planted. So, but
that is true. Yeah. Now, here to your point, how they're not even acknowledging Marianne Williamson, they do talk about her right here. So let's listen.
You argue this in your new piece, quote, there has to be one good challenger, X, out there from the party's supposed deep bench, right? Someone who's compelling, formidable, and younger than, say, 65, someone who is not Marianne Williamson, someone who would be unfailingly gracious to Biden and
like, that wasn't the point of the story. It wasn't a period after Marianne Williamson. Yeah, someone not Marianne Williamson. They just kept going. That tells you how insignificant they think of her. So
if the Marianne Williamson progressives thought RBN, if they thought we was mean to her, they have another thing coming. They haven't seen anything yet because we have policy and strategic disagreements. They're going to go after and attack her in some of the most malicious ways, which they are already doing. They're going to do a lot of these underhanded tactics. Her primary will be a joke before it started. because of the way they're manufacturing the consent. And then after South Carolina, after that mouth whopping, they're gonna make fun of her even more. So this is the movement that the boutique left want us to put our resources in. This is what the movement, the boutique left, the Vanguard people, the Crystal and Ball people, the Crystal Ball and Calculency people. They want this to be the face of the movement, so the workers can suffer another embarrassing defeat.
Embarrassing.
They're setting workers up for an embarrassing, emasculating defeat, like the professional managerial class always does. Go ahead, CJ.
65, someone who is not Marianne Williamson, someone who would be unfailingly gracious to Biden and reverential of his career, even while trying to end it. Challenger X could earn goodwill by campaigning with class and expressing unrelenting gratitude to Biden. She could simply nod and shrug in response to the various admonitions.
Let me just read this, Nick. And someone who would be unflailingly gracious to Biden, a Challenger X could earn goodwill by campaigning with class and expressing unrelenting gratitude to Biden. Like, so this goes to the point I was saying, like, it's like a choice that's not a choice. That's why they're saying you shouldn't be really like riling, getting Joe Biden dirty, because we all know this is the guy. You're just here so the people think they really have a choice. You can hear them talking in that way outside of them saying, no, we should have a choice. No, they don't really want us to have a choice. And you can hear it in this way that they're talking now.
Emphasize her own credentials and the grave threat posed by Trump, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, or any other Republican, say repeatedly that she would do whatever was necessary to help and support the president if primary voters nominated him again.
I mean, they could do all of that. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, he or she could do that. But Mark, the argument that I usually hear from Democrats are, he beat Trump. If any of those other people had run against Trump, Trump would have beat him in Wisconsin.
So those are two parts I wanted to show you there before I get to the main video. Did you say you wanted to insert a video here, or after all of this you wanted to insert a video?
I'll wait till you're done.
Okay. All right. So then let me get to now. Believe it or not, Nina Turner. So this is the Nina Turner part that I want to chime in. Nina Turner actually chimes in. So I don't know if this is signaling that Nina Turner would support Marianne Williamson. Maybe it is signaling that. So, but she go ahead and talks about it, right? And she posted it. Let me put it up here. Oh, right here. So here's a tweet. Yeah, here's a tweet right here. Democrats cannot claim to be the party of democracy and also hold beliefs like this.
Now, this is also what I was saying. When this is just one of many, you guys see this is a blue check liberal account who are posting all this nasty stuff about Marianne Williamson. Once again, the Marianne Williamson supporters who thought we was the mean ones and they're going to run to the warming, loving care of the Democratic Party, they were deeply mistaken. RBN was just a start. Like, if you can pass that test, you're going to stand no chance against these parasites like Claude Taylor. I'll read it if you don't mind. Look at this. I saw this earlier. I actually had this. I was about to share this, so this is perfect. I hope the Democrats will keep her off as many ballots as possible and allow her entry to 0 debates. This is not a serious candidate. 2,000. I'm sorry. That's Nina's. But that tweet had a lot of likes on it too. So there are a lot of liberals saying the same thing. Like, yeah, the Democrats should not take her seriously. Should be on the debate stage. They will not give you guys a hearing. But go ahead, CJ.
Yeah, let me show. And I mean, you can still talk. I'm just going to show you. Crystal Ball also chimed in right here on the same thing, and then I can actually go and show you the amount, because this is the actual tweet, and I can show you the amount of likes. But she said, "Behold the liberal commentariat commitment to democracy." So that's what they're labeling. Of course,
that crystal ball, like that was Crystal. So she's upset that liberals are attacking the legitimacy of Marianne, and it just gets started. Like Crystal going to be doing this a lot coming up here in the next few weeks. But go ahead, CJ.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know who Claude is. I didn't know who he was before this, but he's obviously a shit lib. And
New York Times. Go to his description. What it say?
Go to where?
What did his description say? Go Claude. Go click his profile.
Oh, sorry about that.
I thought I saw something.
I think he did. I think it does say he's a reporter. Wait.
Oh yeah, 215,000 followers. Do you guys think that's real? Come on. That guy. I was like, click his profile. I saw that. I was like, no fucking way, bro. That guy. That 250.
Yeah.
You gotta believe that. There's no way that's fucking real. But go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
That's the guy. So news has come out, and these are a couple of other things of just people just tweeting out about her. And maybe I'm spoiling your thing because this is I was gonna go over.
You good.
Maybe these are the same tweets that you were gonna cover. So
you good.
Just wanted to show how some people were responding to her. Grifter Nina Turner gave Grifter Marianne Williamson a plug on CNN this morning. I'm going to show you that video. Of course, a clutch of these fake aggressive podcasters and booksellers retweet and promote each other. Their only motive is enriching themselves. That was a devastating tweet. That's a devastating tweet.
I told you guys, it's obvious to literally everyone who's not the friend of Marianne Williamson and her clique, right? So I've seen liberal journalists and headlines make fun of the fact that they're like, and you guys saw Warren Joe hint at it at the beginning. They're like, when the last time you actually seen the sitting president actually lose a primary challenge? So it's like they're mocking her chance of not winning. Meanwhile, people like Crystal Ball, they are trying to present in Vanguard, they're trying to present the fact that she has a chance. But that idea is being mocked relentlessly. Like the idea you're gonna run, you're gonna defeat the president, and now they calling her a grifter. Look at what the tweet said. The tweet said essentially what we said because it was obvious to literally everybody. The only motive is enriching themselves. The motive for Crystal Ball and Kyle Kalinske and the Vanguard for pushing them is so they can benefit from the Marianne Williamson industrial complex. Right? The same way Marianne Williamson is running, not because she want to wage a proletariat revolution against the Democratic Party. She want to write a fucking book, guys. That's obvious to anybody except the people who Marianne Williamson gave access to. And now these people got to pretend that she's running for any other reason other than fucking PR and to sheep her people to the Democratic Party.